So here we are. It's that time of year again. Christmas 2026 is upon us. For me, this can only mean one thing. I am about to head into London on my annual Christmas lights photo shoot. Let's just say I think we could call this my nemesis within my photography challenges and my photography trips. I always have a very, very clear image in my mind of the kind of images that I'm hoping to create and what I think I can create. Nevertheless, every time I come away from it, I do feel a tad frustrated and I don't quite capture what I had envisaged in my mind, but I keep going back for more and I'm not going to let it drop. I'm going again and I'm feeling quite positive today. I think every year I just get maybe a tiny bit better. There's a couple of years I've copped out a little bit and gone for a video montage instead of photos, but I'm determined this year to see if I can get some nice images. As you will have seen from my little intro there, my setup today is going to be the trusty Sony with the 24-50 f2.8 lens on front. Now I thought I would use this because I wanted to go super versatile. I want a bit of option in terms of my focal lengths. I did have in my mind that I wanted to use this set of filters that I'd been sent out kindly a little while ago. They're just here by Freewell. I had all these kind of cool mist filters and I had this snow mist filter and everything like that. In my mind, I had the adapter ring for them, but I remember I'd asked for the 49 adapter ring to go kind of on the front of either my Sony 40 or my Fuji, and that will not adapt to this lens here. So today I'm just going to go with that. I might take a CP filter with a little bit of a bloom in it as well, just to see if I can use it to be a bit creative with the lights. But I'll make another video on these filters because they're still boxed up. I'm pretty keen to use them. Anyway, on to today. As I say, taking the Sony in, one lens. It's a bit of a cheat code, I think, to have the zoom. I was planning to go with the 40, but I want to give myself every chance I can get today. So all that's left to do now is pack the bag up and head into London. I'm probably going to go a bit POV style. I know it's going to be super busy and I really want to concentrate on the photography. So hopefully that gives you good insight, and I'm sure we'll follow up with the final images and maybe a few thoughts along the way. But sit back, relax and enjoy this festive one, and I will see you somewhere else along the road. So that is a wrap on the London Christmas Light Shoot 2025. Now, this is probably, in my mind, in my eyes anyway, one of my more successful shoots. And I actually came away with some images that I was pretty happy with, and a quite rounded and complete set. So I was pleased. There's definitely still room for improvement, but I'm already excited, and I've got some ideas of things I did this time to make it a little bit better that I could potentially take into next year and keep making things better, and of course apply that across the board to sort of general photography as well, especially kind of at night and bright lights. I hope you enjoyed some of the images and it inspires you to kind of get out there and shoot. But I just wanted to share a couple of kind of thoughts, a little bit of a after action report, if you like, into kind of why I think it went a little bit better than it has done in previous years, and hopefully some of these kind of thoughts and musings can help you as well. First thing is lens selection. Previously, I've gone with a prime lens. I think last year I went with my 40mm. I've also gone previously with a zoom telephoto, and never quite nailed it. Maybe that zoom was just a little bit too much. I found the range of the 24 to 50 just perfect, and it hit the spot really, really nicely. It enabled me to capture a few details as well as some wider shots. And I did actually utilize my APS-C crop mode as well when I wanted to just punch in a little bit further, but it just helped me to have a bit of flexibility within my creativity, and I think it helped kind of round out that set. And being able to capture some details as well as those big shots, I think, is what really, really helped, because previously, potentially, I just had my eye on the prize and I wanted to go for, that big shot down Regent Street or at Piccadilly, and try and capture the kind of hero shot, if you like. But as I've mentioned in previous videos this year, I've been trying to kind of make myself take all the details and the moments in between to make a bit of a wider story around things, and I think it worked really well. And actually, for me, it made the shoot a whole lot more enjoyable. Second thing I really utilized a lot is a bit of a slow shutter speed. Again, I've done this before, but I think probably like 80% of my shots on the shoot were shot at a slow shutter speed, not with a tripod, too busy, and I find tripods very restrictive and kind of hinder my creativity. But I managed to handhold most of my shots at around 1/4 of a second, and just to get a little bit of movement, either to blur people or to blur lights. You'll have seen a lot of light trails, and I think it just added to the atmosphere of the scene. I utilized this in one of my favorite images, which was the Rolls Royce in front of the Cartier shop. This was on Old Bond Street, and it just was like, the timing was everything. It pulled in front of the shop. There was people everywhere. I waited very patiently for a bit of a gap and then just managed to blur any movement that was going on in front. And I think that one turned out really nicely. It's one of my favorite images of the evening and of the set. I think the other thing that really helped on this evening was mixing up the locations a little bit. Regent Street is your obvious choice, Oxford Street for Christmas lights, but made the efforts to kind of mingle around a little bit and went up Old Bond Street, which was actually super nice, so classic London, oozing with wealth. And of course that Rolls Royce was definitely not coming and waiting for me, but it was actually hovering around various shops, so I managed to get it in a few shots, and I just think it added to that kind of luxury London look very, very nicely. And then we headed out to capture Fortnum and Mason, which I actually haven't ever shot before at Christmas, and it's a very nice display they always have on the front of their shop with the kind of advent calendar style, and managed to blur some cars and buses, etc. there. It's very much a patience game, a waiting game, and just trying to get the right movement in front of the building. Once you've got your settings dialed in, you can just wait it out and see how you go. So finish up on Regent Street and got some classic shots still, and that's always an entertaining time along there. It was quite the workout, to be honest with you. Very, very busy and quite the hustle and bustle, but came away super happy. And I knew as I was going along that I had got some really nice shots that I was really happy with. And strangely, one of my favorite shots, which I suppose isn't really a Christmas shot, is this shot of a guy shining someone's shoes. It was just perfect. The shoe shiner himself had some quite cool shoes on, and then the guy that had sat down to have his shoes shined was wearing red socks, and I thought they popped really nicely. That was in the Burlington Arcade, which is also a really nice little spot to go and have a wander around. So I was actually really pleased with that shot, and I think maybe that might have been my favourite of the night. Anyway, drop me a comment down below with your favourite, and as I say, I hope this gives you a bit of inspiration to get out there and shoot this festive season. I am now off to shoot again, which is exciting. So another video coming up for you, and I would look forward to seeing you there.